Hey everybody, I'm Latoya and I talk about faith, family, and business. And so today I just want to kind of share how my long commute set me up for a promotion on my job. Now, and this is how I took my mornings back and my life back after commuting 4 hours a day. So let you kind of visualize this for a moment and see if this sounds familiar to you. Your alarm goes off before the sun even comes up, and your first thought is, do I really have to do this again, right? You drag yourself out of bed and you're just thinking like, oh my God, I don't even know if I have time to pack breakfast. I'm scared along my commute because my stomach may act up. These are real topics that I'm thinking about. Like, will I have the bubble guts by the time that I get to work? I can't eat any cheese, no eggs, no dairy, no nothing like that. And if I drink black coffee, that might mess up my stomach as well. So maybe I can just get some water. I'm all over the place at this time. And I'm also thinking about my children and how I have to leave them behind, but they're with their adult sister and they also have their grandparents, so they're not without the support. And let me just lay that out for you. So I'm like packing up my car and bracing myself for hours of traffic, like not even a few minutes of traffic. 30 minutes sitting in the car would have been fine, but I literally had upwards of 2 hours, and that included like traffic time. And I was just like frustrated, but I knew that I was on this journey for whatever reason. God had me on this road. I had to get on the road. And so I wake up like 5 a.m. And then I would like maybe turn on something motivational. Typically I turn on like maybe scriptures and let it read to me. And I have to get physically, mentally, and emotionally prepared to go on the road. Okay, so I had to keep reminding myself that seasons do change though, because everything is not going to stay this way forever. Like at this point in time, over that past year, I was like, Lord, this has got to change. It's not going to stay this way forever. And this is one of the things that was preparing me for something greater. Like, if you ever had this thought in your mind, like, I got to do this one hard thing. I got to do this one hard thing because if I do this one hard thing, it's going to open up the door for me to have better things. So that period of sacrifice paved the way from where I am today. I'm an executive in the technology industry, and I'm living a 100% remote lifestyle. Like, I used to be remote before, but it was with a different work ethic, if you all can understand that. Like, sometimes you got to go through a period of stretching so you can appreciate what you have and work at a higher level this time when you come back to that opportunity. And so at this point, I have more peace, more rest, more time to spend with my children, and it's a all around different lifestyle. Like, I really can see where my kids are at this moment. I felt like my life was just going on without me, and I hated that feeling. But in this video, you all, I'm going to show you how that transition not only made me a morning person, but it completely transformed the way I manage my time, my money, my energy, and all around mental peace, my mental happiness, and just clarity all around. So we're going to hop right in. So part one, I want to share kind of like the struggle and the turning point in this story. And I've taken some notes so I can just kind of stay on point for you all. So if you keep seeing me look above, like, I want to stay on target, because that's just who I am. I like to be more organized now. I write down more notes. I have notebooks galore, planners galore, and just things that just kind of keep me on point. So anyways, that season of long drives, I felt like it was more humbling than I've ever, it was more humbling than I've ever had to experience before in my life. I battled traffic and I'd be scared because I see so many car accidents, and it wasn't an exaggeration. It was car accidents every time that I had to go to work. Now, sidebar, I didn't even get in a car accident until I got back home. Somebody rear-ended me, but it was very, very minor. The guy backed into me at the grocery store. No real hard thing that I had to go through. But I was so scared being on the road all the time because the being on the road is unpredictable. There are always things happening. And the closer that you work towards the city, or if you work in the city, which was my case, I worked in the city, it's crazy. It is a jungle. And you would see road rage incidents. I saw high speed chases. I saw so many different things that I honestly didn't want to be a part of. And so my mornings, they would feel very rushed. My oldest daughter, she would wake up so she could walk me outside. And that's my adult daughter. She walked me outside because I had like my travel system by Execulux. And it was like the rolling trolley or whatever. Then I would have like my makeup bag, which would sit on the top of that. And then I would have my purse. And of course, my trunk was packed out for like incidentals. Let's just say my boots. Let's just say it was like starting to storm. You had a flat tire, which I did have a flat tire. And I've been through all sorts of weather events and some crazy emergencies. Rain, hail, sleet, snow, and 2 tornadoes to be exact. And a pop tire right on the highway. So this was humbling. But my daughter, she would walk me outside in the mornings, and she would just kind of make sure that I was safe getting in the car. And she, wave and tell me, see you later. So, but I would literally have like a small time to breathe. But I started to think about what that drive meant to me at that time. It was full of like prayer and listening to music and just trying to see why was I on this journey at that time. Okay, so the next part, but somewhere all in that grind, I realized that God was doing something different in my life. It was about the discipline, because sometimes you have to go through some things to gain more discipline in your life. And I needed to have the discipline of waking up early and packing and being able to be on the go, traversing through traffic, being in the city all the time, networking with people. It sharpened my saw. And so it was shaping my consistency, and not only my consistency, it was shaping my mindset. And then I got in my steps each day that I traveled. Then plus I was eating healthier because I would have access to like the salad bars, and things of that sort. So, but that same discipline carried on for my life as I returned back home to my remote position. So what I do now, I use those same early mornings, not just to sit in traffic, but to sit in gratitude specifically. I get a chance to read scriptures. I still get a chance to like hear motivational messages. Like on YouTube, I'll turn on maybe like a sermon or some Eric Thomas or Les Brown or even Tony Robbins, things like that, to just kind of get my mindset going, because I feel like life is 100% about the mindset that you have, and it's not necessarily what is happening to you, but how you process that on the inside of your mind. Like, what are you pouring into your spirit? I also spend more time journaling. Like I told you, I have so many notebooks, and I have this old notebook and so many other things that I have access to, but I'm a person of habit and I have to write things down. Okay, so what I saw in the end was those same tactics, those same habits that I was creating during that time. It was forcing me to not only live in survival mode at that time. What I used to be in survival mode helped me to be someone that can thrive later on as I got more organized. All right, so the next part, where's the foundation of it all? One of the principles that I learned when I had to travel, I understood preparation happened the night before. It was all about preparation because most of the time you can gain more mental clarity and more mental peace by being more prepared. If you think about it, like if your house is dirty, if it's all over the place, and like right now I'm in the basement. So this is not the same thing that you all would normally see upstairs. This is our fun space. It's where we can just kind of throw things around. But all in all, the place, the livable spaces where the kids are, and they come downstairs to like their den area, the game room, that sort of thing, the exercise space, the movie section, that stuff is organized. And I understood that when I got home, I needed to organize better so I can navigate the house. And also, I understood that preparing at night, even if it was like meal prepping, getting more Tupperware containers, setting out clothes the night before, that's something that I really had to focus on doing because I would be irritated when things were not prepared. I'm not really sure if that resonates with you all, but when your house is dirty, your things are in a disarray, you don't have things organized, even one sock can have you behind. So when I was traveling, I the night before travel time, I would go and gas up the car and just make sure that I had maintenance done, make sure that I checked the tires, the brakes, engine systems, all of those things so that I can prepare to go the next day. And I also just kind of made sure with kids, if it was like the big pans, the big serving trays of food that you see at like a catered event. I started buying those things at like Sam's. That was one of the main things. Like I loved having my Sam's membership, and I still have it, where I can buy in like bulk. I have my styrofoam cups. I've got the 500 foam cups because it's easier, so they don't have to think about the dishes. Make life easier for your kids, especially if they've got to live a non-traditional lifestyle. And I have my POM tissue. It's the 2-ply tissue, and it's, I don't know how many toilet rolls are in there. I can't see the thing, but anyways, those things are on our other refrigerator that's in the hallway downstairs. Now, I have, what were some other things? I'll just be prepared. Like we'll just make some food. The kids love macaroni and cheese. So if you want to make a big pan of macaroni and cheese, you make a big pan of string beans, you make a big pan of barbecue chicken, and or prep up sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, or have things that they can easily put in the air fryer at night, like the biscuits, the Pillsbury biscuits, where they can either get it out of the can or they can get it out of the bag, the frozen biscuits, and just throw it in the air fryer, and then getting the sausages or bacon or anything of the sort, so they can put some things together, the eggs, getting things that would make their lives easier as well. And also ready-made meals. Even if I didn't do the food that was like in the trays, I would make sure they had something that was easy enough so they could put things together. All right, going on to the next part. My golden rule now is respecting my morning. What does that mean? So I don't hit the snooze button. Now I do give myself enough time. Like, for example, my kids have to be up because they're in virtual school. So that's another difference. My kids are in virtual school, so I don't have to worry about the commute. They've been in virtual school for a while. Actually, my oldest daughter, when she was starting the kindergarten, we had her in K-12. K-12 broke apart from GCA, and she used to be at that school, so that meant she had a laptop at that time, and her school went wherever she was. And that's the same thing with my kids now. Like we came back to virtual school after like the pandemic. Like they did their own online school during the shutdown, but we went on to a solution that I knew the most. And I get a chance to have access and resources for them, like 24-hour tutoring services that they readily have at their school. They have community events, like tomorrow is a community day, and they have opportunities to just kind of like live out real life in a cyber school environment, and we get a chance to go and meet up with their other homeschool or cyber school classmates. And so what I do now, um, I just go ahead and I get up, and I normally tell my kids, like, hey, don't sit in here in darkness. Go ahead and open up the curtains, especially in the workspace that they use. Um, Tiger likes to sit at the table downstairs. Adonai has his own desk and workstation, because he has his whole gaming setup in the corner. Bryce, she has one of the spare rooms downstairs, and so she uses the rolling desk that I used to have. Plus, she has like a nice flat screen monitor, and the rolling desk, it goes up and down. It's a standing desk. So we also have like the walk track. So even if it's like rainy days, the kids can get on the walk track and they can get some exercise. We also have stairs on the side of our house. And so they can walk those stairs, and we have a large backyard so they can go outside and they can play. I have soccer balls. We've got the net outside, where like the soccer goal, we have that outside as well. We have the jump ropes and things like that. So I try to tell them, like, hey, open up the curtains so it's not dark in here so you can get your morning going. I spray nice scents. Like right now that it is October, I have the pumpkin spice and ginger scent. And it just helps to give like smell therapy for them instead of it just smelling like stale air. And I'll spray it around in the house and just like walk and talk to them and get them prepared for their day. I apologize for the background. That's my oldest daughter coming in. So
drop the phone, guys. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so with that being said, everybody, so we have like the smell therapy with the pumpkin spice and ginger, and then other things like it's just. I'll tell them to go ahead and clean up their space and get prepared. Normally, they have their morning hygiene routine and just get prepared. And I know like the number one thing, if you can get your kids to go ahead and get dressed for the day, so they're dressed for the day, they don't have to get prepared later on in the day, that is like a big, big game changer. So when kids are in virtual school, homeschool environments, they have a non-traditional life. So getting them on a schedule where they can go ahead and get dressed for the day is really, really powerful. And I have like daily chores that they have to do, like making sure that the trash is out, of course. And they have full access to this downstairs kitchen. So like my youngest daughter, she bakes. My number one thing is my biggest ask is, if you use it, clean it up. So she has her baking supplies and things like that. But the kids have access to whatever they need for the day. And I just want the morning to be respected. And what we do, we don't have to rush through life when things are more organized. All right, so the next section, what my mornings look like now, which I kind of hit on the last section, is about it's a mixture of like peace and productivity. And I really thrive in areas like that. Like when our settings are peaceful, they're productive, we all can work in harmony. Because if all of us are going to be here, you don't want us to like get sick of each other. So we're just like irritated with each other throughout the day. Like that's a normal thing. Like let's just say if you were husband and wife, right? If you're always around each other, you're going to get irritated after a while. So that's why I make everybody spread out and do your own separate things. And so what I'll do, I know that Bryce, she has her own thing. She works in the at-home call center. She does some taxes, and she also does the fraud industry as well. So she has her own schedule that she makes, and she's really productive in that space. Adonai and Tiger often join me. Like sometimes I'll go ahead and just make them some breakfast, or I'll give them like a motivational word in the morning, just to kind of get their day started and just kind of get them rallied for the day. Now, I do have like my software where I have made my own music, and you see my buddy up here, he's at the top. That's the red dog, but he is actually a speaker. So I'll typically turn on my software where I've created this AI music, and they'll get a chance to hear the music. It's kind of corny sometimes, but it's fun. Um, and I feel like that's our culture. It's about fun and togetherness. Um, and we have like a moment. And so I value being at home now more than ever before because I don't have to be in bumper to bumper traffic. That was irritating. Like I told you all, it was traffic, it was accidents, it was road rage that I witnessed, high speed chases. It was like just whatever you thought the city looked like, it's exactly that. And so I'm grateful to just be home and not have to be frustrated, not trying to think about, is my stomach going to act up? Because those are real things that people don't really talk about. Like, you know, you're traveling, or are you going to be safe? And then like when the seasons change, the time changes. I can remember getting home, like I would leave when it was dark and I'd come back home when it was dark. So I loved going into the spring season previously where I had like some light of day. Like I could still feel like I had some of my life left. But now I get a chance to just kind of be here with my kids and understand. And I look at like my receipts and things like I'm saving on not having to pay for the express lane. Because the express lane costs money, and I was of course spending money every single week. Then on top of that, it was gas. It was spending two separate things. So I had the food at home, but I also had to pay for food when I was gone. And so when you work a job, that's not tax deductible from my understanding and what I've been told, unless you have like a side business, that is a job. And so what I did previously, I couldn't even get the benefit of receiving money back for the travel unless I went through like a spend account with my job and that type of stuff. It wasn't structured the way that I thought. So it just made more sense to not have a whole bunch of wear and tear on my car because I was having to get the oil change all the time. I had a pop tire on the side of the highway before. That was pretty scary because you all know city traffic and you have a pop tire. I was in the middle of traffic, had to pull over and wait for my insurance company to send out roadside assistance, which I'm grateful they moved pretty fast, but it was scary nonetheless because people are whizzing by you, right? So, yeah, I'm just grateful I don't have to think about that. And then so now I get a chance to make memories with my babies. So we're getting close to the end of this video, but if you like this video so far, I want you to please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and let me know if you are a parent that commutes. All right, so the next section, what's the biggest lesson that I learned out of this whole thing? Because there's always a lesson in life, no matter what. There are always lessons to be learned. So the long commute to me taught me that even in my hardest seasons, hardest part of my life, that it was also shaping my discipline. It was also shaping my prayer life. It gave me some alone time to just kind of figure out who I was and who I had become over that past year of traveling. Because you become somebody different, like altogether. You're learning things, you're cultivating relationships with your coworkers, and you're learning new things on your job. What did that do for me? And it actually gave me more discipline. If I didn't learn anything else, I learned how to be strong and more bold because those people were fast paced. They were on target. They were high performers. And so I am in financial tech with a very aggressive mergers and acquisitions firm. And so it was in your face and you had to perform or be cut, period. And so I loved having to be in that high pressure situation because it was all about the metrics. It was all about the KPIs. It's all about production. And I feel like that helped me to no longer be afraid of just life in general. Because if you continue to show up and you learn how to ask questions, but learn how to ask meaningful questions, you can get meaningful answers that's going to help you to thrive, right? And so if I would conclude right here, I would definitely say, if you're in a season that feels really heavy, it feels really weighty, and you're frustrated, you're irritated, maybe you're waking up early, commuting long hours, or juggling more than you think you should at this point in time, know this. I feel like you're at the right place at the right time. And I feel like this is a season of preparation for you. And you got to take it for what it is. And you got to understand that your consistency is going to bless you. It is going to be a blessing to you. I've seen it time over and time again. My directors, my managers, my vice presidents, and even C-suite professionals that's in our company definitely made me feel like I was valued in what I was doing. More and more people were hearing my story about what I was doing for my family, and how I was showing up for my kids and showing up for myself. And I never came in looking crazy to work. I put on my clothes. I made sure that I was pressed and well dressed and well groomed, and regardless of whether I was tired or not, it did something in me. And so I pray that you take this time to learn more about yourself, and know that your consistency in this season is building your capacity for the next one. It always is. And you got to stay faithful in the process. Like, no matter what, just stay faithful, and God will see you through. And what else can I say about that? I feel like I've brought the point home. Now I get a chance to enjoy time with my family, and take my kids on midweek outings. We can go get, different things, sweet treats and good meals. I can record content like I'm doing right now, and I can still excel in my career. I don't have to worry about it, and I'm proof to say, hey, it may be difficult, but you got to continue to show up. But you also have to put yourself in front of the people who are decision makers that will help to propel you to the next level. And don't be quiet about your career goals and the track that you want to go. And if you've been there or you're in that space right now, I want you to drop a comment for me in the comment section, and let me know what your mornings look like, and what you're believing God for, because it's important that you are seen and you're heard, and you don't feel like you're by yourself. But you got to put the pressure on. You got to put the pressure on yourself so you can produce a diamond in your life. And I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too terribly long, but I feel like it was absolutely necessary for you all. Thank you so very much for watching. And please don't forget to turn on your notifications after you subscribe and like this video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.